Hello and welcome to Cataclysm Quick Tip number 45, where we will be discussing the cargo dimension item. So in Cataclysm, carrying space is extremely important, and knowing what options are possible is important as well. One of the most sought after but also most rare items you can get in the game is called the cargo dimension. It's difficult for a few reasons. Item rarity is the primary one, but also skill requirements, and it does also require a particular mod to be installed in your game world in order to even have the option. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the cargo dimension, what's needed to build it, and how to do so. So I've got items lined up just above me here. These are the items that are necessary to build the cargo dimension. Before we get into that though, I want to show you the mod. So if we go to active world mods, this is the one you need, the vehicle additions pack. As long as you've got this installed, then you have an opportunity to make the cargo dimension. Okay, so if you do have that mod and you find or gather these items, you'll have the option to build the cargo dimension. So first up is a cargo carrier. Cargo carrier is pretty standard. You'll find them in the back of many vehicles. They have 250 cargo space, 250 liters. So it's the best normal storage space you can get in a vehicle. Next we have plutonium cells right here. So you need 5 of them for this. So right there is 5 plutonium cells. These are fairly easy to come by the mid-late game, and you can get them either as loot occasionally from robots and mechanical enemies. You can also retrieve them by disassembling power storage CBMs. Next up, we have the next rarest one. That is the teleporter item. The teleporter can be found generally near scientist zombies, so you can get them as loot from scientist zombies, from scientist zombie body sites in the overworld, and from laboratory loot. So that's the place you want to go looking for teleporters. You'll find them fairly often. And then finally, the really tough and rare item is the portal generator. So right there is the portal generator. This is a rare, bizarre, and arcane device of an otherworldly nature. It's giving you a headache just looking at it. It is covered in alien markings. This one is super rare. You're not going to see these very often, so don't plan on making a cargo dimension every game you play. But be aware that if you do run across a teleporter and a portal generator, you want to make sure you grab them both or mark their locations to come back for later. Alright, so if you do acquire those 4 items, then you can go ahead and start the assembly. So let's take a look at the vehicle. We have a bandit bulldozer just south of me, and in that we have a trunk that has 162.5 liters of storage space. That's pretty good. Only thing better than that normally would be the cargo space at 250 liters. We're going to remove that though, so we'll go ahead and take the trunk out. Then we're going to say install, and what we're looking for is right there, the cargo dimension. Now the cargo dimension does require Mechanics 8, a stabilized portal, and these other items. So in order to build this, we're going to actually have to build a stabilized portal out of these things first. So we're going to go ahead and go to crafting, type in portal. There is the stabilized portal, and this is where you need certain skills. So it is a difficulty 8 electronics primary skill. You also need a bit of mechanics, mechanics 3, in order to build this, and then some basic metalworking tools. So you can see here we have the components, the cargo carrier, teleporter, portal generator, and 5 plutonium cells ready to go. We're going to go ahead and build the stabilized portal. There it is. All right, looks pretty fancy. So the stabilized portal itself really doesn't tell you much specifically about what it's going to do when you turn it into a cargo dimension, but the description reads, as you gaze into the seemingly infinite depths of this portable hole in reality, a phrase from a time forever gone echoes in your mind. There are 2 things that are infinite, the universe and human kleptomania. Okay, so now that we have the stabilized portal, we're going to go ahead and install it in that space where the trunk was before. So we'll go to install. Back to the cargo dimension. We've got all of the requirements met. Mechanics 8 is required for the installation. We got the stabilized portal, we have the tools, and we're all set to go. So we're going to go ahead and install that. And there it is. We've got our cargo dimension set into our vehicle. Now, here's the important part. When we examine that space, take a look at this number right here. Cargo dimension volume is currently 0.0 out of 250,000 liters of space. Now, there is an important game restriction that you need to be aware of. You're probably not going to fill 250,000 liters of space before you hit this other limit. So in the game, there is a hard-coded item stack limit per space of 4,096. That's 4096. So in a single space in the game, you cannot have more than 4,096 lines or stacks of items. So if you're looking at a group inventory, each line that's shown on the inventory screen is considered a stack. So as long as you have less than 4,096 total lines or stacks in that space, you're okay. But if you try to put more than that into this space, you'll end up with a volume less than the maximum, but it won't let you put any more in. And it doesn't really tell you why that's occurring. So just be aware that if you're putting stuff in your cargo dimension, it no longer lets you put anything in, and you haven't reached this limit yet, it's because you've hit the 4,096 stack item line limitation. So throw your most heaviest volume or largest volume items in here first and primarily, and you shouldn't run across that kind of problem. But if you throw just tons and tons of little tiny items with each having their own line of information, you're going to hit that limit pretty quickly. And that is how you get the fabled cargo dimension, a single cargo space in a vehicle that holds 250,000 liters, with the limitation that you can't have more than 4,096 lines or items in there at once. Hope you found this information helpful. You probably won't get many opportunities to build the cargo dimension in your game world, but being aware of the items necessary means that if you do run across a portal generator and a teleporter, you should get excited and go ahead and try to put this together for your game. Hope you found this information helpful. As always, please support the channel any way you can, and stay safe out there. Bye-bye.